Hello everyone. So in today's lecture we shall consider first the properties of mu hat and sigma hat, and then we shall see how this leads us to the discussion about Wishart distribution. So let us first start with the maximum likelihood estimators of mean vector and variance covariance matrix for multivariate normal distribution. So suppose we have a random sample of size n from multivariate, that is p variate normal distribution with mean vector mu and variance covariance matrix sigma. So this then we have already shown that then the sample mean vector calculated like this becomes maximum likelihood estimator of the population mean vector mu, which is usually denoted by the letter x bar, and the sample variance covariance matrix, that is sigma hat, which is nothing but 1 by n summation xi minus x bar into xi minus x bar transpose. This is maximum likelihood estimator of the population variance covariance matrix, also known as population dispersion matrix sigma. So one more thing which we should notice is that this mu hat or x bar, this itself is a p-dimensional random vector, and sigma hat is a p by p random matrix. Now why that is the case? So notice that this xi and x bar both are random vectors, and we are considering their subtraction and we are multiplying it. So then the subtraction itself will be another random vector, and we are multiplying it by its transpose. So this will be a p by 1 vector getting multiplied by a 1 by p vector, so that we will have a p by p matrix. And now we are adding such n, because I goes from 1 to n. So we are adding such n matrices, random matrices, and so ultimately we will get a random matrix again of size p by p. And so this one thing we should notice, that mu hat is a random vector and sigma hat is a random matrix. Now let us see what can we say about the distribution of mu hat. So the result one says that the sample mean vector, that is nothing but the maximum likelihood estimator of mu, also follows p variate normal distribution with mean mu and variance covariance matrix as 1 by n times sigma. Now this goes so much similar to what we get in the univariate case. In univariate case we say that mu hat, which is x bar, which is the sample mean, follows normal distribution with mean mu and variance sigma square by n. So sigma square is population variance. So the same thing is happening here. Now because mu hat is a random vector, so we are getting the variance covariance matrix for mu hat as just 1 by n times the variance covariance matrix for the population, that is x. So now let us see how we can prove this result. So as we have already discussed in the class several times, that the shortcut is to go through moment generating function. So let us see if we can find the moment generating function of mu hat. So suppose we are calculating the moment generating function at vector t, where t is any vector in the p-dimensional Euclidean space. Then by definition the moment generating function of mu hat at t is nothing but expectation of e raised to t prime mu hat. Now let us substitute the value of mu hat, which is 1 upon n summation xi. Now a simple way to proceed is, what do we have and what do we want? So what do we want? We want the moment generating function of mu hat, which looks like this. And what do we have? Because xi's are, each of the xi's are normal, p variate normal, following p variate normal distribution with mean mu and variance covariance matrix sigma. So we have their moment generating function. So if we have moment generating function of xi, how can we get the moment generating function of 1 upon n summation xi? That is what we are trying to get. So let us try to see if we can rearrange some terms, and if we utilize the independence of xi's, then let us see if we do get something. So this expectation of e raised to t prime 1 by n summation xi, this t here, t is in rp, so t prime will be in T prime will be of dimension 1 cross P, and this is of dimension P cross 1. So this T prime 1 by n summation xi is a scalar. So this 1 by n and summation I can keep aside, and I can take this T prime inside. So this becomes expectation of e raised to 1 by n summation T prime xi. So now expectation of e raised to now this 1 by n, if I adjust in here, then I can get summation T prime by n xi, where I goes from 1 to n in this exponent. So now we know that xi's are independent random variable vectors, each of them not only independent but identically distributed. Now because of independence, now this e raised to summation T prime by n xi I can write as product of e raised to T prime by n xi, and now this expectation of product, because of the independence, becomes product of expectations, and so we get product over I going from 1 to n, expectation of e raised to 1 by n T prime xi. Now the MGF of mu hat at t then becomes product of e raised to 1 by n t prime mu plus half times t by n prime sigma t by n. Now how do we get this? So notice that the earlier term is just the moment generating function of xi computed at the vector 1 by n t. So now if x follows p-variate normal distribution with mean vector mu and variance covariance matrix sigma, then the moment generating function of x is e raised to t prime mu plus half t prime sigma t. So now replace this t by n, then where n is a scalar, then we will get e raised to 1 by n t prime mu plus half times t by n transpose sigma t by n, where this small n is a scalar. So let us rearrange these terms. Now this is product of these exponential terms. So when we take it inside, it will become now it will become summation, and now the same term, notice that the same term is getting added n times, and so this will become e raised to n times 1 upon n t prime mu plus half times t by n transpose sigma t by n, and so this n and this 1 by n will get cancelled. So I'll have e raised to t prime mu plus half times t prime. Now this 1 upon n square will cancel, this small n will cancel one of these n's here, and so this will be t prime 1 upon n sigma t. So this is nothing but, if we follow the definition of moment generating function of p-variate normal distribution, then this is MGF of p-variate normal distribution with mean vector view and variance covariance matrix as 1 by n times sigma. And hence we can conclude that the moment generating function, using the uniqueness of moment generating function, the maximum likelihood estimator of mu follows p-variate normal distribution with mu and sigma by n. Now let us consider the further properties. So this property says that the maximum likelihood estimates the maximum likelihood estimator of mu, which is mu hat, is also an unbiased estimator, and the sigma hat can be adjusted after multiplying it by this factor, so that it becomes an unbiased estimator of sigma. So when we multiply sigma hat by n upon n minus 1, then we get an unbiased estimator of sigma. So let us see how we can prove this. So now from the first result, we already know mu hat follows normal p-variate normal with mean mu. So expectation of mu hat is mu. This is very straightforward. Now how do we prove the second one? How do we get to the expectation of a random matrix? So far we have not done this. So expectation of a random matrix will be just a matrix of expectations of each of the element in the random matrix. So sigma hat being a random matrix, expectation of sigma hat will be simply a matrix created out of the expectations of elements of sigma hat. So let us consider the ijth element of n upon n minus 1 sigma hat, so that we can talk about the expectation of the entire matrix itself. So suppose we are denoting this ijth element of this matrix by sigma ij curl. Then now let us try to study this sigma ij curl further. So now n upon n minus 1 sigma hat is nothing but 1 upon n minus 1 summation xi minus x bar into xi minus x bar transpose. Now how that is the case? So notice that in sigma hat we had 1 by n times this term, this random matrix. So the n will get cancelled, and instead of 1 by n now I'll have 1 upon n minus 1. So this is very much similar to what we do in the univariate case, wherein we say that 1 upon n minus 1 summation xi minus x bar whole square is unbiased estimator of sigma square. So now let us try to investigate this further. So if we write the vector, random vector xi like this, so because each of these are p dimensional random vectors, so let us write the vector like this. So the first element is x1i, the second element is x2i, and so on. The last element in this vector will be xpi, and this being a column vector, so I have written here row vector and taken the transpose of it. So now how the x bar will look like then, the sample mean vector? So x bar will be average of the first elements of all these random vectors. So this xi, I goes from 1 to n. So the sample mean vector will be average of the first elements. Then the second element in the x bar will be average of the second elements of all these n from these n random vectors, and so on. So the first element will be 1 upon n summation x1i, then 1 upon n summation x2i, and so on, and the last element will be 1 upon n summation xpi. So now let us denote this first element by x bar 1, the second element by x bar 2, and this as x bar p. Now let us see how we can use this. Then this sigma ij curl is nothing but, what will be the, now sigma ij curl was the ijth element of the variance covariance matrix. So how will it look like? So the ijth element will be the covariance between the ith component and the jth component of this p dimensional vector. So how do we calculate the covariance? Now how do we calculate? So the covariance will be like this. It will be xi r minus x bar I into xj r minus x bar j, where r goes from 1 to n. Now notice that when we fix the I and j, then it's like we are then again back to the random variable setup, where each of the random variable is following normal distribution, and so then it's just same as what we have in the univariate case. So here, because we are having covariance, so we will have the ith variable minus the element of the ith component of the original random vector, then similarly jth component of the original random vector minus mean with respect to the jth component, mean of the jth components in from among the random sample. So that's why sigma ij curl will be 1 upon n minus 1 summation r goes from 1 to n xi r minus x bar I into xjr minus x bar j. So this is an unbiased estimator of sigma ij. So how do we justify this? So we are just following the normality of these xir and xjr. So using that we can say that sigma ij curl is an unbiased estimator of sigma ij. Since now we have written this, that the covariance between xir and xjr is sigma ij, and we are simply going for sample covariance between these two, and so the sample covariance will be an unbiased estimate. So now because each, and now this is going to be true for all i's and j's going from 1 to p, and so as a result each element of the matrix n upon n minus 1 sigma hat will be unbiased for the respective matrix, and so we can say that the expectation of n upon n minus 1 sigma hat is matrix sigma. So this is how we have established the unbiasedness of mu hat and n upon n minus 1 times sigma hat. Now let us study further properties in the next